can't use the Marcellus Shale. When you take a look at the federal government, the Department of Energy, they have yet to produce one more barrel of oil. You need to look at the Department of Agriculture and recognize there are more people working at the federal government's Department of Agriculture than work in farming in the United States. We need to reverse these trends, get the government out of it. We need to emphasize personal responsibility. It absolutely amazes me that Barney Frank and Chris Dodd can sit there and grill Goldman Sachs and have the audacity to say it's their fault when in fact they created Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the fiasco that every person is entitled to own a home and that no subprime mortgages are a reasonable way to do it. They were called no-doc loans. In the vernacular, we called them liar loans. Did somebody in Congress not get the message what that sounds like? The third issue we need to recognize, we have to stop government intrusion in our lives. We need to go back, and I'm a certified public accountant. I specialize in keeping companies out of bankruptcy. Government's responsibility is to create the framework of law, not so many regulations under which we cannot operate. That's how you spur economic growth.
Thank you, Frank. Our next topic is that of abortion. It's a three-part question. First, are you pro-life? What do you consider pro-life to mean? And how would you further your viewpoint on this issue at the national level? And for this question, we'll begin with Josh.
Thank you. I am pro-life. Aside from the obvious problem of partial birth abortion, which is not an abortion, it's infanticide. There's never been a civilization that has survived long killing, murdering a living, breathing child, let alone one that's still in the womb. We really have to get to the question of why people want to have abortions to begin with. And women are going to have legal abortions, they're going to have illegal abortions. And we're going to stop it. The question is, why do women want to have abortions? And there are ways, I think, to help people come to the right conclusion in the right environment. I don't like it being used as a form of birth control. I don't want federal tax money being used for it. And I think in terms, Bill, of answering the last part there, how would you further your viewpoint? I think that there's very much a place for religious counselors in an abortion clinic. And I think there's also a place for 3D sonograms in an abortion clinic. Before you have your abortion, you have to sit down with a religious counselor of your choice. Rabbi, priest, minister, spend 15 minutes, have a discussion, or don't have a discussion, but go through that, have that opportunity to question yourself and have a metaphysical or spiritual discussion with someone who's been trained in those issues. And then secondly, have a 3D sonogram. See what's inside. See what it is. It's a miracle. It's God's gift. None of us have experienced abortion firsthand. Thank God all of us are still here. It's a huge deal. We're not going to stop people from having it. The question is, do they really want to have it? And that's how I would pursue it. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Alan.
I am pro-life. That means I believe individual human life begins at the moment of conception. Therefore, the unborn child is included in all constitutional rights afforded a person in the Constitution. That means an abortion should only take place if the mother is legitimately in danger of losing her life, and that would make abortion an act of self-defense. I believe Roe v. Wade must be overturned. It was a purely political decision. Justice Harry Blackmun, in writing the majority opinion, mentioned that population control, pollution, poverty, and racial overtones contributed to the problem. That is a national disgrace. Most abortion clinics will be found in highly populated regions dominated by poor minorities. 1,100 white babies were aborted today, while 1,200 African American babies were aborted today. There's 5 times more white women than African American women. The court seemingly accomplished one of its goals. Blackmun fully ignored the scientific data regarding the life and development of the child, finally granting abortion rights to the mother as included in her right to privacy. Until Roe v. Wade can be overturned, I would advocate legislation to require parental permission for a child to have an abortion. I would advocate fully informed consent so a mother could clearly understand the stage of development of the child at the time of the abortion and fully understand the procedure that will be used and what it would do. I would also advocate a 24 to 48-hour waiting period after the giving of abortion information. I would further advocate educating high school students regarding the life and development of the child in the womb. This thing is a disgrace to our country, folks. There was a time, some of you who are younger here, you don't remember, but there was a time when abortion was not legal in this country, and it was a disgraceful decision that made it legal.
Thank you, Alan. And Frank.
You know, I don't normally discuss this, but I've had 7 children, 4 of whom lived. 3 of my children were stillborn or the pregnancy and my wife miscarried. The first child was 4 months in utero when the baby died. I believe wholeheartedly, when you see that sonogram, you know there's a child. I firmly believe that life begins at conception. I believe that we have been endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, but they're words: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. The very smallest of creatures and persons and lives, that soul needs to be protected. We need to be able to protect the defenseless, not the people who can defend themselves. We need to recognize that the moment a society can tell you that life is not important at birth, that is the same group of people that are controlling your health care and can tell you that life is not important at death. You should be extraordinarily concerned, because the minute the decision's made at the one end, it's so easy to go to the other extreme. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, you only have to see you only have to see someone walk by maternity after they've lost a child to realize what impact it is. I'm chairman of a residential treatment facility for sexually abused girls. None of our facilities believe in abortion. We counsel our girls against it. I'm on the board of directors of a Catholic hospital that prohibits abortions, and if we are required to because of a health care bill, we will shut down. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to protect life at conception and at death.
Thank you, Frank. Now, Dave.
Sometimes the legislative process gets pretty complicated, but sometimes it's very, very, very simple. These supervisors, senators, state representatives, congressmen get a yes or a no. And on every single time throughout my tenure, I have cast a pro-life vote. I believe that's why in every single one of my state races, I was endorsed by the Pennsylvania Pro-Life Federation. That's one where, you know, you're either here or here. You can't be multiple choice on this one. And I think we all understand that, you know, whichever way you cast a vote on this fundamental issue, you are going to get criticized by the other side. But it's just one that you can't just, you know, talk the talk. You need to walk the walk. And every single time that I've had the opportunity, I have voted yes for the pro-life position. I have supported some of the most long-range, effective statutes I think that you will find in the country here in Pennsylvania, and it would be my intent to follow that same pattern as a member of Congress.
Thank you, Dave. Our next subject applies to the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. As I'm sure you're all aware, the United States Supreme Court is about to hear the case of McDonald versus Chicago.